This looks good. It looks good. I like it.
Welcome, Soul Seekers. I am your soul guide, Linda Krause-Barnett.
And I am your other soul guide, Patricia Ribeiro-Wolfson.
Welcome to week 5. We're about at the halfway mark, and I know as for us, we have a lot of exciting things going on. This week, the principle is called the Dear Abby principle. And it's basically asking us to tune into our guidance system.
And that's from this book. In case you're just new and just joining us today, or you just happen to catch us, we are doing the experiments in this book called E Squared by Pam Grout, which is 9 do-it-yourself experiments that prove that thoughts create your reality. And we have done, as Linda said, we've already done 4 of them. This week is number 5. And I have to say that this week is a real fun one because I've often, you've, I'm sure said this, everybody find, like, I wish I just knew what to do. I wish I just had an answer. Like, don't you wish you could just call up a friend that you knew was going to give you the right thing to do no matter what? Well, guess what? That's what this week's principle is all about. You do have that friend. It's just that, there's a lot of static in that call because we're not tuned in to that information, because we don't believe it's there, because the information or the answers often come to us in our own voice. And so we mistake it for our own judgments. And very often that intuition may come in our own voice, but it's not necessarily coming just from us. It's coming from a much larger field of possibilities and potentiality, as we've been calling source, God, whatever it is you believe. That's how Pam Grout refers to it in her book, is that field of potentiality, which has all the answers for you. Right, Linda?
Absolutely. And the thing is, whether or not we're talking about the results of the experiments, I want to just say that the chapters and the information that's in the book leading up to the actual lab sheet where it tells you what to do for the experiment is chock full of anecdotes and chock full of stories that she's accumulated or that she has experienced herself that allow you to really connect with the concept of whatever principle we're working on. So once again, in that same manner, principle 5 is just really rich with stories, stories of people we've heard of, stories of people we haven't, but it's those stories about, one example that I just want to point out, because this used to happen to me all the time, is she was holding her baby at 3:00 in the morning and her baby had 106 fever. And it's that quintessential question when you're in that moment, like, what do I do? I feel really helpless right now. I don't know what to do to help. It's too late to call friends. I'm by myself. And she said she had this divine kind of guidance say, why would I give you such a great gift and then take it away? And so for her, that was her repose. And it was just her guidance saying, it's all going to be okay in this particular situation. We've got this. We've got this. So I wanted to point that out, that, regardless of the results, the chapters are well worth reading. And then the other thing I wanted to point out too was I have many personal close and dear friends that are doing the experiments with us. And one of them was at my house this weekend, and she is, religious. She was raised in church and she's just extremely religious. And she fretted about this book a little bit and said, I just feel like I'm not sure if it aligns. And I said, the concept is about God. If you're comfortable calling it God, it is no different. It's just that different connections feel different to different people. But I believe that at the end of the day, whether we're religious and we associate these principles with God, or whether we're more on the spiritual end and we call it the force or the field or whatever you're naming it, in my opinion, the bottom line is that there's something greater than us that we have access to, that we have connections to, and that is there to protect us and seeks our highest good.
Yes, that's a really important, it's a really important point, because there are some people that kind of feel a little nervous about entering into this realm thinking, this is like, the devil's work or whatever. And I mean, chances are that if that's your thought, you're probably not watching this. If you're watching us, you probably know exactly with the intention with which we are doing these experiments. And I really, truly believe that this is opening up a connection with God, with spirit, with source. The thing that I always believed, and it's interesting that you use religion right now, because I read something earlier today, and it referenced that for myself personally. I remember as a child, and I went to Catholic school. I went to church, I went to Catholic school my whole life up until university. And I remember really thinking that it was such a bizarre concept that I had to go to a priest to ask for forgiveness, because I was like, I should be able to ask God myself. And if God wants to forgive me, I shouldn't need a middleman to give me that forgiveness. And that was a concept I had from a very young age as a child. Like, I just didn't understand. It's like, why do I have to tell somebody my sins? And I'm sure that there is someone who's super faithful, that goes to the church and believes in the process. And there's probably a very good reason that it is believed that we should go to somebody else. And I do believe that in some cases you need someone else to say, hey, you're okay. So taking that out. But as a child, I remember thinking, if I want to talk to God, I should be able to talk to God anytime I want. Not because I thought, like I was so special. I thought, well, we're all special. We all have that connection. And if the light exists within us, then I should be able to have that conversation with this light that's in me, much like a parent. You should be able to go to your parent and say, I need your guidance. And I think that God, spirit, the universe is much like that parental figure, which is probably why we associate it with so much punishment. It's like that open source of like, I really need your hugs. I really need your love. I really need to know everything's going to be okay. And that guidance is there telling you exactly that. So
if you're on a spiritual journey, it's the same as being on a religious journey. It's back to that feeling that most of us, I believe, come into this world having, which is like, where do I come from? What's that greatness? And, there's people who think we are a piece of that. So we're divine when we seek the divine. The thing about this is that it doesn't matter how you come into this, and it doesn't matter what you come into this believing. The fact of the matter is that we are talking about our thoughts, we are talking about our reality, and we're talking about our connection to whatever you name it, whatever you call it. And there's goodness in any way you would like that perception to be held. Yeah. This is all good. Everything is for the, larger, greater good of humanity, for the good of yourself, because as we heal ourselves and as we become greater versions of ourselves, then that's what we put out there. And that's all this work that you and I, Trish, are really doing, is spreading light and saying, here's all the good things that we want access to, that we have access to. And how much, one of the people I listen to, her mantra for the day is always, her name is Cynthia Larson. I've mentioned her before with the hangers. And she says, how good can it get? And that's like her morning mantra. And where's the wrong in that? It's just, how good can it get? How wonderful. I came here to fulfill a big purpose, and I'm on that journey of seeking out what it is. And so we're bringing people along with us.
Yeah, totally. And
no shame in that game.
No. And I was just talking, like, it almost doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this is all woo woo, or if it doesn't matter. What matters is the results. Do you feel better? Do you feel closer to God? Do you feel like life is worth grabbing onto? Do you feel more passionate? And do you feel like you're on your life's mission? That's what matters. Are you positively affecting yourself and everybody around you? That's what matters. So to sum up, today's exercise is going to be, or the principle basically is, you are going to ask the universe.
Like you would the Dear Abby column.
Right. So it's called the Dear Abby principle, because it's like, okay, Dear Abby, the only caveat is it needs to be a yes or no question, right? It can't be something where you need different explanations for. You need something is like, should I, go to this thing or not, right? I already know what my question is.
Oh, you do?
I do. And I'm never this prepared, but two things came into my head. but I'll share it after, like what it is.
That's fantastic. I think
But I already know what it is, and you give it universe 48 hours. You say, okay, I really don't know what to do, and pick something you don't know what to do, right? You pick your thing and you say, should I do this or should I do that? Should I wear this or that? Whatever it is, like, yes or no. Or maybe it was she said a yes or no question, so maybe you just have to just state the yes or no, like, I should participate in this. Yes, yes or no, I want my answer in 48 hours, and that's it. You put it out to the universe, you let it go, and 2 days from now, well, no, I guess 3 days, so today's Monday. Thursday, we will come back and we'll let you know what our answers were, and I'll reveal what my question is and my answer.
Okay, sounds good.
You have a question?
So I'm good with it.
Okay, good. All right. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
And if you have not joined if you have not joined this experiment yet and you want to, it's not too late. You can sign up right now. If you want to tell friends, please do.
We have lots and lots of Soul Seeker TV surprises coming up. So please go to YouTube, go to our Soul Seekers TV page and subscribe, because we've got things that you're going to want to be a part of.
There's a lot of things brewing.
A lot of things in the crock pot.
Okay, have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye, guys.